The cross was bought for me by my father about 25 years ago from a friend of his who was an auctioneer and valuer, and it was seen by an antique expert who visited a club that I belonged to, and he told me that the stones in it were rock crystal, and that is the only information that I've ever had about it.
Well, it's quite a rare thing. Obviously a very nice ecclesiastical cross set with what looks like dark grey stones. Turn it over. And a finely chased back and a finely chased top and this little suspension loop.
I wondered if it was maybe Spanish or Italian.
Well, that's really what
what
I think it is. I think it's actually a Spanish cross, but the grey stones, though, they are not rock crystal. They're flat table-cut diamonds.
They certainly don't look like diamonds.
They don't look like diamonds, but when they've got this very flat cut, and when I say table cut, you get a flat facet, and then you get 4 facets down the side. If they put a closed-back setting, as they've done here, you can't see the light going through the stones. It's not reflected back, and they appear dark charcoal grey. And that is very typical for Spanish stones for that particular period.
Does the diamond fill the whole of that area, or is it just sort of set on the top of it?
Well, I think it's countersunk in. If you were to remove the diamond from the cone, you'd find a cavity behind.
Right.
If you like, the collet, the cup, forms a kind of grip that holds the stone in. This one is the biggest stone. In fact, I think if you were to take out the diamond and weigh it, it's quite a heavy diamond because it's a thick, chunky, almost like a diamond cube. And in fact, in their native form, when you find diamonds, they're usually found in the form of cubes.
I didn't know that.
So there it is, Spanish, 1680, 1690. We're talking about perhaps 300 years. With things like crosses, things like ecclesiastical pieces, they don't have a great appeal to the whole world because, unfortunately, religious things don't. So I'm going to be a little cautious. I'm not going to go too high on my price, but, you know, looking at the period and looking at the stones, I think we're looking at around about for selling £1,000.
Gee. It cost £75 when it was bought originally.
A very good investment, I would say.
Yes.
Well, I bought this in an antique shop. It was about 20 odd years ago, and I paid £35 for it. And I was told that it was Islamic and that it was probably in the 15 or 1600s, and that's all I knew.
It is Turkish, in fact, so that would come under Islamic, of course. It's made in a place called Iznik by these great potters. They usually specialise in making these tiles, these wonderful interiors in the region. This is a conventional arrangement. You have, for example, this is called a Saz leaf, S-A-Z, and then you have tulips and sometimes carnations. These are the things we always associate with Dutch painting.
Yes.
And of course the Dutch got this idea from here, from Turkish pottery and whatever else. But it is a long history. This actually dates from the 17th century. And even today, this is probably in the region of £400 to £600 because of the tradition. But I think it's a lovely object. This turquoise in the middle is a beautiful colour.
Yes. Yes.
But also I have to say that I love this. Now, this is a real gem.
Well, it's reputed to have come down from my great-great-great-great-grandparents. I would have thought it would have been around the very late 1700s.
Well, that's exactly what this dates from. I think it's utterly charming. It's made of creamware. I feel this is almost certainly a Yorkshire, a Leeds pottery piece. Charmingly painted. I think this is one of the most... it's so primitive. I love these two coves sitting around a nice little tripod table.
I think it's lovely.
I think so too. It's got a little damage to it, but I think it's a real joy, and I'm sure that it would probably retail for, well, £1,500 to £2,000.
Oh, my goodness.
But it certainly should be insured for that in one of your heirloom pieces.
Oh, really? That's absolutely staggering.